Welcome, Patina. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today at the Portland Dow Center Friday evening. And today we have something very, very special. I'm very excited. I can see you are also very excited. More people are coming. So this is truly, hello, Robin, and hello, Tim. So glad you're here. Hello, Gregory. Welcome. Congratulations on the new job you're getting. Welcome, Judy. Love you, Master Loveness. Thank you so much, Cosima. Thank you, Daniel. So glad to see you, Amy. And we have two Amy's here. So glad you're here, Renata. Welcome. Yes, today we have a real treat. I'm so delighted to have Master Peter joining us today to give us a talk. Master Peter is the first Master Sha's disciple, and also the first person has been enlightened by Master Sha. He has amazing stories. It's amazing. We're just into such a treat tonight to have this great opportunity to be with him. It's just such a privilege. I'm just really, really looking forward. Usually we're with Master Peter at some big events with Master Sha with thousands of people. So, but this weekend and tonight we can have some very special time, very intimate time with Master Peter. So it's really, really amazing treat. And so I'm so looking forward to this. And as people still coming, so we'll wait a few more minutes. Yeah, just imagine Master Peter has been with Master Sha, I think more than 20 years. He will tell us more about him and his journey, and he has so many amazing stories, including his story with China. When I met him, he's telling me his story with China, and he has amazing stories, and he's amazing spiritual beings. His achievement in the academic world is top neurosurgeon in Canada, tenure track professor before he joined Master Sha, and he gave up all of that and to become Master Sha's disciple and to become a healer, Tao healer. So so his journey just so amazing. We all can learn so much from his life experience, and his wisdom is just incredible. So, so people are still coming. We'll wait for a few minutes. Yeah, I always have a great, great love and not she worship. Just admiration for Master Peter. His wisdom is so deep, and he's a founder of Shen Medicine. He wrote a book. Of course, Master Sha is the founder, but he wrote this book, and he will tell us more. So this is a very, very special time we're going to have with him. I'm so looking forward in this time tonight, and also this weekend. We have some very precious time with him. He's very, very busy, and so I feel so privileged, we can get him to visit us spend this one day this weekend with us in Portland, not physically, but almost physically. Now everything's virtual.
I'm going to interrupt just 1 second for customer service. Michaela, I made you host. Could you please make this go live on Facebook? Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Paul, you want to say something?
Oh, I had the great pleasure today of interviewing Dr. Peter, and just being able to be in your joyful field Dr. Peter might not know this, but he's actually one of my mentors specifically on how to be a happy master. Because there was times, and he will share with you, that he wasn't always happy and jovial, but he made this massive transition, and now he's my mentor in that respect. Like, if Dr. Peter can do it, I can do it. So love you, Peter.
Hello, can you see me, hear me?
Yes, Master Peter, very beautiful. I can.
这是我的家，华山。
Yes.
So hello everyone, good evening from my humble abode on the mountain. I am very honored, very grateful that I can be with all of you. This is a very beautiful time that I can come and support you. It's very, very important to my heart. Yeah. So maybe I will just give few words of introduction to what I'm going to teach, share with you. But you know, I am a bit emotional, yeah, because over the past few weeks, my heart was with all West Coasters. We have the forest fires in British Columbia every year, and communities were severely affected, and now I could see that you were exposed to very significant level. And so I really feel with all of you. And I offer this lecture tonight and also through the weekend. And I hope that you can get something from this and you find it useful. So how this lecture started, many years ago, we moved to Vancouver. We lived in prairies in Canada, central Canada. And shortly after we came, our son came home with a note that he needed an emergency bag. And so we learned first time that, wow, emergency bag. And so we looked into it, and so the reason was that Vancouver is about 20 miles away from major fault line, Pacific Ring of Fire. And we do not get so many earthquakes like in California, but we do get some. And so children had to have some emergency supplies in case there is a problem. And so we did that. And then we also found out that the local government in Vancouver, they provide frequently through the year teaching where they are guiding citizens how to be prepared for the case of the natural disaster like an earthquake. And then our teacher, Master Shah, has been telling us that there will be a transition time and all sort of challenging things will happen. So that altogether made me concerned that I probably should have our family ready. And so we studied with our students, and I gave a few lectures through the years how to be prepared in case something happens. And then several years ago, Dr. Marilyn Tam, she introduced me to a man who was one of the key people for preparedness in California. And he was, you know, he and me, we did some lectures for the Master Shah Company employers. And so he shared with me his material, and then I did the lectures, and together we did quite a nice presentations. And the students remembered that. And so this year, when in Australia they had the bushfires, they called me if I can give them a lecture. And so I did. And we shared, all of us, what they went through when they had these forest fires and what they went through. And then I shared with them what I did, what I have already. And so they have some suggestions. And some word came out, and then I was invited to speak to a center in Hawaii. And, you know, the Hawaiians, they have every year, they have a hurricane season, and it's a different like a fires, forest fires, but still, you know, they have volcanoes. So they have for centuries, I mean, the locals learn how to survive when there are these hurricanes. And so they have a very good knowledge what to do, how to do it. And I, you know, because I was going to teach more detail, and I reviewed my stuff, which I had ready, and then shared with them. They shared with me what they have, and then another lecture came in San Francisco, and then in Europe several times. And you know, San Francisco people actually put together. They had supplies. And I had a little. Did I know that what will happen this year? And so they were quite eager to learn because they had the fires already a few years ago. And now I called Master Marilyn, you know, when the fires started, do you have what I taught you? And she said, oh yeah, my backpack is ready. And so they found it very useful. And then I was busy, and so many events scheduled around the world, but eventually now I am very happy I can come to you and share what you know, what I have developed, and I am sure that I will learn something from you too, because everyone has already some experience. So I will now share some slides. I would need to be enabled so I can share my screen, because I have prepared slides. It's you know, my whole presentation is in slides. If you need to show the pictures.
Loveness, you have been given the host mode. Could you please offer sharing for Master Peter?
And you know, what I'm going to teach, actually, there are two parts of it. In Master Sha teachings, he is emphasizing that everything has two sides, physical and spiritual. And what the issue is that for great success, we need to have both. We need to have in place physical and spiritual. If we have only one of them, it's not enough. So I remember when we were with Master Sha in United Nations, and we, you know, he was talking from the podium to audience. He said, "There is no such a thing in the perfect medicine. There are many illnesses in that modern medicine cannot deal well, you know, like chronic fatigue syndrome, yeah, fibromyalgia."
Peter to be the host, or what did you want?
Okay, someone is unmuted,
Yes,
and maybe
I could
it
not
would
make
be.
it happen.
Okay, yes.
I tried to make you a co-host, but somehow I was not be able to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me the option. I don't know why.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
oh, you have some method. Sorry, Master Peter. That you can continue. We can try to figure it out.
Okay, so I start my screen. So that's wonderful, it works. And so what happens is that Master Shah said that no medicine is perfect. So we have illnesses in modern medicine we cannot deal with. On the other side, when there is someone breaks the leg, you don't go to herbalist, you call 911. They bring you to emergency and you have a cast placed on. So it makes sense, yeah. And the best results Master Shah always emphasizes is that when we combine both physical and spiritual medicine. And so the same, I apply the same approach as Master Shah emphasized for the preparing us for the unpredictable times. That there has to be preparation physically and spiritually. And in my humble opinion, neither of them is enough alone. When we combine them, then we are really much better off than if we have nothing ready. Yeah. And so my second point I want to make sure that you understand is that this is not like a
I'm a host right now, but it didn't allow me in the Portland.
Okay. Well, maybe you either mute yourself and then you discuss all sort of things you need to discuss, or then listen what I teach. You have a choice, but I'd like to teach. And so what happens is that, see, I lost the trail of my thoughts now. Okay. Nevertheless, so let's go to sharing screen. Unfortunately, I lost my flow. All the material that I present is provided for general information. It's provided in good faith, but we make no promises about accuracy, reliability, or completeness. You know, there are different types of scenarios, and one lecture cannot prepare us for everything. Especially that I'm not going to talk today or tomorrow about pandemics. From some reasons, I decided not to include it to my presentation. And so this is only information, and we are not responsible for any action if you take on this information. So this is only information. We are not advising any guidance. So what happens in our lives? We build our lives to be pleasant, nice, comfortable, enjoyable, and efficient. So that's everybody wants. We want to have a comfortable, happy life. And we have a structure that we build in our life. So we have friends, we have a job, we have family, we have spouse, some have cat, some have dog. And so we have this system. We have apartments, we have car, bicycle. And we make this all functioning well. And because everything functions well, we are in control, we feel safe. Disasters can come often and suddenly and challenge all of this. And we may lose the structure we may lose the system, and we may lose the control. And then we feel unsafe. And then we do not know what to do. So preparing for disaster is something like an insurance. I don't want anybody, what happens tomorrow? It's like, you get the insurance for the car, you get it, and then you forget it. I mean, you are not driving every day scared when there is a disaster, there is a car accident because you just bought the insurance. So the same is to preparing for the disaster. We know that they do happen. We just get ready, and then we are ready, but we forget about it. And then if it strikes, then we are ready. So I share with you this beautiful slide. This is a city which I like so much. I love San Francisco. I'm sure I'm not the only one. This is a very beautiful city. And people who live there are wonderful people. So many great things have been started in San Francisco that influenced the whole world. And lots of art. It's a very elegant city. It's beautifully placed, very beautiful scenery. And people created a system that is very effective, efficient. But things suddenly happened. This year, people in San Francisco woke up to this in September. There were so many fires around and so much smoke that this was the sky at noon. This is a sky at noon. This is not funny. This is serious. When you look at it, I mean, this looks like a horror movie, but this was real. This is lunchtime. I don't need to tell you because you are having fires in your state also. Washington State and British Columbia, we have fires too. Sometimes we don't see the sun, not as bad as this, but we had about 10 days, 2 weeks, we could not see the sun. So what do you do when this is happening around? What do you do when this is happening around your house? If that is going to happen tomorrow, are you ready? Do you know what to do? And it can happen, really, anywhere now. So these are the fires that are in San Francisco area, no, in California. The whole West Coast counted about 900 fires right now since the season started. 900. This was in August. I mean, now there are much more. There are many beautiful places just burned in the Napa Valley, So this is not something like doomsday scenario that we try to do fear mongering. No, this is real. This is our life now. And we know already it is going to be with us for some time because global warming will create the fires next year again. So it is becoming part of our life. And now what would we do if we wake up to this? Like in New Orleans in 2005, there came a hurricane and then there was a flood of the whole city. So if this is happening in the backyard, are we ready that when we leave the house, we know how to function. Because this will take away our structure. Like 100,000 people in your state had to just be evacuated. So then they had to run. Yeah, this was happening. So if you leave the house, can you exist? Do we have the system in place how to live? How to continue our simple, but still our existence if we need to run? Or how about this? If this would happen, would we be able to continue to live? This is happening right now in France. Southern France, cities are like that. So that can happen anytime here. It does happen from time to time around the Mississippi, or happen in New Orleans. So how can we live if this happens to us? How can we live until water goes away? And it can take 2-3 weeks, we don't know. Are we ready to live in our house? Maybe we go to attic, but can we live? Do we have enough supplies? This is Vancouver, this was two weeks ago, Vancouver. So, we feel with all of you, what you are going through. We have fires in the BC every year. And so this was combination of the smoke that was coming from our fires and whatever was coming from you. So this is how we lived for several weeks. So it is now part of our lives. Now, what I want to share with you, this was fascinating for me to find out. Because people were asking me, students were asking me questions. So what is happening? This social upheaval everywhere. In every country, there are protests. And so I looked into it and I found out that over centuries, in different areas of the world, different cultures, different political systems, people reacted to disasters in similar way. We are not really very different. The loss of structure, loss of system, and loss of control leads to emotional instability and frustration that is often vented in violence. Because when we lose control and everybody freaking out around, some people respond with anger and some people respond with fear. So the key is to prepare ahead of time. So we have some alternative structure, an alternative system in place. And that way we maintain some control and we are much more stable. And if we are emotionally stable, we can survive much easier because we can find our solutions. If we are overwhelmed emotionally, we can't find solutions. But when we are stable, then we can find solutions. So this is one of the issues that if we are prepared ahead of time and we have some alternative system that is simple, easy to restore, then we have this feeling of control. No matter how, if this happens to you, I mean, or any of us, of course, it's very frightening. If this happens, it's very frightening. I mean, just imagine a family, children, and now this. You can't go to grocery store. You cannot go to get food. You can't even pull out the money out of banks. So now how do you live? And for how long? So that's frightening. And if we have something and we are ready, then we feel much safer and we are emotionally more stable. So look at these folks. This is a Katrina, New Orleans. Imagine the emotions of these people. The mother who has this mother here, who has 5 kids, 5 little kids, and they have nothing. Suddenly, they have nothing with them. How she feels. I mean, this is not funny. Look at this child here. What she has is a small radio, portable radio. Obviously, that family was not prepared. In this situation, portable radio is not really something that is very important, or it is, in fact. But she has nothing else, yeah? And this is not a funny situation. This is very challenging. And so we need to prepare 2 things. And as I said, the disaster has yin and yang. Everything has a yin and yang. So everything has our preparing has a yin and yang. We prepare on spiritual level and prepare on the physical level. So that's the whole issue here, that we need to prepare both. And so what do we need on physical level? For our life, we need shelter to protect ourselves against elements. We need water because it's vital for life. We need food to sustain our health. We need some health and first aid. Yeah? We need light, because if it is dark, then you can't live. We need heat and energy to keep our core temperature, so we don't perish from cold. Some sanitation, basic issues, finances to buy the food. We need physical safety. We need some connections, because we are people and we like to have connection with people. We don't want to be alone. We need some network. So we phone, hi mom, how are you? Today I phoned with my son. Half an hour we talked, yeah. We have friends, we have colleagues, and so forth. So this is what we use every day. Shelter, water, food, health, light, heat, energy, sanitation, finances, physical safety, connections, and network. So as I said, when there is a disaster, this is gone. Now what? How to live? Look at these folks. They lost all of that. How they are going to exist? So, for the survival of for the disaster, there are 2 types of disasters. One is the acute survival. Quickly, you need to just act right away. Like, there is a fire in the backyard, you need to act very quickly. If there is a flood, or in Canada we have often snowstorms, and then we are just nailed to the house. There is no electricity. The roads are just covered by snow. It takes a few days until they clear it out, so we are just marooned. We need to be ready for that. And we need to be ready today. So I remember it was several years ago when, Monika, can you bring the lantern? Tam je ono, v tej miestnosti som si napísal, aj to radio. Several years ago, what happened is that, it is about more than 10 years ago, we had a hurricane in Vancouver, and it knocked so many trees. If you know the Vancouver, there is a Stanley Park. It's close to the downtown, and ancient trees, several hundred years old trees were just toppled. But that happened everywhere around the province. Yeah, thank you. And it happened around the province. And what happens is that the trees, when they came down, they took down the power lines. And it happened in winter. So power line disrupted, and suddenly, when there is no power in electricity in the house, pilot in the furnace turns off. Because to distribute the heat from the furnace, you need to have a ventilator, which is blowing the hot air through the house. And so what happened is that as soon as, even if there is a gas, but once there is no power, the furnace shuts down. And then life stopped. Cold. It was so cold. We had a little son and my old mom. So we have a pile of wood all the time. So what happened is that, but there was no electricity, so we had to chop the wood. But fortunately, I had a crankable flashlight. You know this light? This is a lantern, has a solar panel, and has a crank. So you just wind it up like this. And you have a light in the house. So I remember we were chopping wood, and see, it's perfect. It makes a light in the house. And so it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. It was so bitter cold that we had to start heating. So Monica was spinning this and cranking it up, and I was chopping the wood. And then we came inside, and oh man, to start the fire when everything is cold is not easy. But we did, and eventually.
All yours, no?
Yeah. So we succeeded to hit the house. We were going on well. And so what happens is, the following day I realized maybe I need more gadgets like this. So I went to, it's like a Walmart, yeah, Canadian way of Walmart. I wanted to buy more of the flashlights and stuff. You know what? I couldn't get to the parking lot. There was such a lineup. I mean, 10,000 people got the same idea. I couldn't buy anything. 10,000 people staying there and waiting to buy something, yeah? So, like, after my lectures, many people went to buy. I mean, I did now in Europe. So, they went on Amazon.com, but items are sold out. The stuff many things I bought in spring are not available right now. So many people have the same idea. So we need to buy as quickly as we can. And, fires will go away, people will come down. So around Christmas, there will be plenty of things again to buy. And so there are so many different wonderful things that are available. I was really surprised when I found that out. There are websites that have amazing information available. There are companies in United States, in Canada, they specialize for the equipment like this. And so it's very easy to have that equipment. May not be easy to get it now, everything, because, you know, these fires really spooked out many people. But once things will calm down, I'm sure that they will refill the stock. So let me share with you some things which we need to have. And what I show you, I have. And so, let me go now down here. So the preparing, we need to know that there are two situations. One is acute and one is long-term. Don't panic. Be prepared. Don't be scared. Be smart. These two things, remember, don't panic, be prepared. So we have these at our door. If you come to my house and you come next door, you will find these two things. There are two backpacks. One is blue, one is pink. I think everybody knows which is mine and which is my wife's. We made it colored way, so we know which one to pick up. And so they are almost identical because in a case we would get separated, then we need to have everything to survive each of us. So we have almost mirrors. I have some items that are a little more heavy, so that I took myself, but otherwise we have the identical. And Monica has another one at work. My work is close to house, so I don't need that, but she has a work in another city and she commutes every day, and so just to be on safe side, she has something at her work. And in this backpack, there we have items in the case, you know, like the basic guideline for us in Vancouver is when the shaking starts, when there is an earthquake, go under the table, run under the table. When the shaking stops, run out of the house. So as I'm running out of the house, I will grab the bag. And in the bag, I have everything for me to live. Another 2 weeks, 10 days. I have enough stuff to live for 10 days. So that's what it is. That's why we have that backpack. There are many backpacks like that. You can create your own, or you can buy the complete set. You know, there are many sets that are available on Amazon.com. So this is disaster preparation emergency survival kit, very simple one. Well, if you want to have everything with the bells and whistles, so this is a tactical US military emergency kit. You know, you can be paratrooper, they drop you off somewhere and you live. Yeah, you have everything, including machete. There is a small shovel, I mean, axe, everything. So this is the something which has all the bells and whistles. What? Ultimate. No, this is the ultimate one. Here is a slingshot. Really, they were thinking about many different things. So basic one, this one, or you can get these ones. It's from Get Ready Now company, and they have a bag for the road, bag for the home and office, the bag for the if you are working in the forest, and then here is a one for the water if you are on the boat. And so these are the experts. They really were thinking about different kinds of the things. See, so they a little differ. they are different from each, but you can have all of these things in it. And so that's how we go through preparation. So again, shelter, water, food, health, light, heat, sanitation, finances, physical safety, connection, and network. So now, as we are going through this, yeah, each of us, we are going through this type of scenarios on the West Coast. We have many fires from the California, Portland, Washington State, and BC. So, you know, to have the backpack, if you need to run, you grab it and you can live somewhere. It doesn't matter where, you can live until you get help from the government. Yeah. So that's what I will be teaching in more details tomorrow. And now I will share with you the something which we need to know, you know, on the spiritual level. So this was a physical, and tomorrow I will talk to you much more many details. So spiritual, how about spiritual preparation? So what is a spiritual preparation? And it has several different levels. And the thing is that, as I mentioned, over the centuries, different places, different cultures, we have responded to the disasters in similar way. That's fascinating. How is that possible? It is. So, Master Shah teaches us that we can use spiritual techniques to enhance our ability to deal with any type of challenge, any type of blockage. Because there can be spiritual, you know, there can be blockage in our health, in our finance, in our relationship. The same way we can effectively deal with the challenge of the disaster. We need to understand disasters the same way as we understand everything else in Master Shah system. You know? So what does it mean? What does it mean? Well, everything is a manifestation of the information. So Master Rulin is an expert. Master Rulin, can't you tell us something about the negative information? You are an expert in the mission. Could you share with us what is information and what is positive information, negative, how it expresses itself?
You want me to share something about negative information?
Yeah. What is information? What is the role of information in the universe, in our life, and maybe about negative information, whatever you like to share.
Okay, that I'll be honored. And also, Master Peter, there's quite many new students. Maybe later on you can also share a little bit about who you are and some of your journey with Master Shah. I think there are a lot of students.
Well, you can do it now. Yeah, whatever you like.
Yeah, no, and I mean, say maybe one day later you can share that about you. I'd be happy to share about the, information. So, so Master Peter is, he's leading the Shen medicine. Shen in Chinese basically means miraculous, like a god, So he's basically this founder, of the with Master Sha of the Shen medicine, this miraculous medicine. And so what is Shen? Shen in the Tao science. So I'm like with Master Sha's blessing, both of us are so blessed. Master Peter is a neurosurgeon before he joined Master Sha. I was a business person and then got my formal training in quantum physics. So both of us become Master Sha students, and we just feel so, so blessed and be able now helping people to heal at a very deep level. And for me, my science and my research in the science just being enhanced, like, the things I want to do for so many years in science. I wasn't able to do it. I was prepared in the top schools, top by top physicists, and but I could not fulfill my dreams. And it's funny, after I gave up, after come to Master Sha, and my dream in science actually now starting to be, coming true. So both of us are very, very grateful to Master Sha. So so with Master Sha's with this healing, so Master Sha has empowered us for me to create a Tao science. So Tao science can not only solve some difficult problems in quantum physics, cosmology, string theory, astrophysics, in life science, but it also can help each one of us to live a life with higher purpose, greater powers, and deeper meanings, and to heal ourselves and create a life we truly want. So one of the deep insight from Tao science we discovered is this Shen. Shen is a Chinese word, is an Asian Chinese word. And Asian Chinese have the deep insight that everybody is a Shen. Everybody has this Shen aspect, that miraculous, almost like godlike qualities. So, but what is this, miraculous godlike quality in science, right? So, with Master Sha's blessing, and in my research, we find that this godlike, the Shen, the godlike qualities is just the information. And every one of us is made of three things. One is matter, one is energy, and one is information. So we live in the information age. We really know the information is so important, right? Our bank statement determines how much money we can get from that bank. So the information is really critical. Information determines what kind of life we're going to have. So if we want to have a good life, we need good information. We need that bank statement saying we have a lot of money, right? Our bank account or and the data in the bank saying, in my account, I have big numbers, right? So the information determines the life we have. So if we want to change our life, we need to change the information in our field. So we need to have good informations. So good information in Tao science, this is also another breakthrough in Tao science. We often say good information, but what is really good information? What can we actually, in Tao science, we can actually calculate how much good information in your field. So it is, we can define it mathematically. So what we discovered is that the good information, positive information, is basically the connection, the order and harmony. So connection means like, if my hand, I feel like this is my example I like to give. If my legs or my hands are connected with my brain, right, through the nerves, then my head can tell my hand to do the things I want to do. If they're not connected, right, then I will not be able to tell my hand what to do. So the connection is really builds the positive information. And the connection, the positive information makes the life possible, the growth, the health, right? If the health is because our body, the organs are connected, the the cells, they are connected and they are functioning in an orderly, harmonious way, right? So the positive information determines we have good health, we have good business, right? If I'm very connected with my customers, with my suppliers and my employees, we have the harmony and we have a good connection, the order, then I have a good business. And the same thing with the finance, good relationships. So positive information brings the success, good health, longevity, and also good relationships, and lead to joy. And the negative information, which is a disconnection, disorder, disharmony. So if my hand is disconnected with my head, then I have disorder, dysfunction, disasters, catastrophes, sicknesses, difficulties and challenges. So the purpose of life, we come to here to build the positive information so that we can have more connection. The more connection we can have with ourselves and with others, then the more joy, more power, more creativity we can bring. And then there's a lot of negative information, then there's natural disasters, and also our life is starting breaking down. So that is my sharing about negative information. I hope, Master Peter, I can serve. It is okay with you.
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you. Thank you, dear Master. Yeah, can you help me further?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what in the teachings that I am sharing is that we have this type of basically the disaster is also negative information.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in environment.
Yes.
There can be a negative because it creates disharmony, distraction, and so forth. So we don't say it's good and bad. In nature, everything has its own place.
Right.
We have the whales, we have sharks. Yeah, we have the rabbits, and we have the wolves. So that's nature. Yeah, the nature doesn't distinguish the way we think. And so every information is a part of the universe. But obviously the negative information is making a difficulty for us. So if we want to prepare for the disasters, we need to work on that information. We need to transform the message, the information of the disaster that each of us has. Now, what would I say? In our neighborhood, about 10 years ago, something happened. There was suddenly lots of noise. We had a rain. We had a torrential rain for several days. I mean, it was really heavy. And one morning, 5 o'clock, I woke up, so much noise. I come out and I see military helicopters above our houses. That was scary. My goodness, what's happening? War started or what? And they had these lights shooting down. So I turned on the news, and happened on the neighbor street down the road, probably about 300, 500 meters from us, there is a ridge. I live on the mountain, and then on the end of our suburb, there is a ridge. And so what happens, there was so much wetness, so much water, that the ridge tore off, and there was a mudslide. So it took down, I think, the house or what, but below the ridge, there is a beautiful suburb also. And as the mudslide came down, it buried one house. One house was damaged, one house was just destroyed. So what happens is very interesting. In that house lived a couple, and they had a 10-year-old daughter. The daughter that night went for a sleepover. Can you imagine? The night of the disaster, when their house was demolished by mudslide, she had a sleepover. She was not there. So what kind of information was that in her life for disaster?
Yeah, so obviously for this beloved daughter, she has some good information in her field, positive information. So she was able, yeah, her life was safe, you know,
Yeah,
her life was
she
spared.
avoided. She
Mhm.
avoided that. Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
Mhm.
Father was badly hurt because the mud went through the bedroom and just buried the bed, but he somehow survived. The mother was killed. Now that comes the most fascinating thing, that later they described his story. She was from Taiwan. She married the Caucasian man. He was like a Canadian, born Canadian man, and he married a lady from Taiwan, and they had a child. She survived mudslide in Taipei. Many years ago, when she was a child, there was a big earthquake and the mudslide, and she survived it as a child. Imagine that woman bought a house under below the big ridge when there was a big risk of the mudslide. Why she would buy the house right at the most risky place? And when later on in her life, she had another mudslide and that killed her. So why did that happen, Master?
Very good example. Yeah, so obviously in her field, there are negative informations regarding to the mudslide. And so even she was able to escape from the previous disaster, but in this one, you know, because of negative information in her field, she was by another house right in the dangerous place for the mudslide. So yeah, Master Peter is really teaching us how the negative information in our field, that is, we carry with us everywhere. You know, some of them is coming from our ancestors. And
That's right.
and
There's
no matter
anything
where you go, this can affect you, making the choice that can later lead to dangers. Thank you, Master Peter.
Yeah. So has that something like that happened to you in your life?
Yeah, we all happens to all of us.
You had a disaster a few years ago in Hawaii.
Yes.
There was a water coming, and you really were running, huh? It almost took you.
Yeah, actually, in my case, it was really traumatic. I was finishing up my book, first book with Master Sha, and then the water come to take over my house. So I was actually with Master Sha at that moment, and actually it was interesting. So Master Sha said, "Run now." So my house is the only house in the whole island be destroyed completely. And so many years later, a few years later, I was actually thinking about to rebuild the house because we still have insurance, everything, and I still have the land. But the Master Sha said, "Don't build the house," and then you know, actually then the volcano took over the place again.
Okay, so would you like to be a demo?
Okay, I'm very honored. Thank you.
Because there are two things here. First, you have obviously information in your system, in your field, that can help create another disaster like that for you. Yeah? So we need to work on that.
Yeah.
But second one is, you said very beautifully, it was very traumatic situation. And even if it is already over, you are now laughing, you are funny, you are happy, it is deep inside you.
Yeah.
You remember that. It is in your deeply suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Some people wake up, they have a nightmare. Some people have a, like a horror things, and they recreate that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have studied with Master Shah, lots of it being clear. But it's always good to have this type of information
Mm-hmm.
cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So maybe I have that information. I come to Portland. Portland is one of the disastrous area, right? There's, and we have, you show those pictures, and we definitely, we experienced that for about more than a week. Literally, like you said, it's like a end of the world. We cannot breathe. We dare not go out. The air is the worst, and the day looks like, the day, during the day you cannot see very much. Just a few houses around. It's completely smoky. It's really like end of the world. It's really amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that in the heart, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my great honor to serve you.
Oh, thank you so much, Master
So what we do, one of the parts of what we do in this lecture, we not just talk, we also do. We have a tools. We have an absolutely incredible teacher. Master Shah gave us such a tools. So we can, with his technology, spiritual technology he has, we can transmit the power to heal, to clear these negative messages, negative memories which we have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then when there is a disaster, you are not feeling overwhelmed because the fear comes up. What you were experiencing in Hawaii when the flood was just, I mean, you had to run. It was already, I think you had a water up to half of your knees, yeah?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had to just run. And so in that case, there is a fear. There is a fear for life. I mean, that was not a simple situation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, volcano is coming, yeah? So these things we need to remove, because if there is another disaster, then this fear comes up, and then our responses are not adequate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can heal that. And so Master Shah gave us such a wonderful things, like it's in a way there is like a post-traumatic stress syndrome, yeah, the modern medicine recognizes. And so we have the system for it. So please close your eyes, and I will ask the Tao Chan, the heaven, prepare the healing power for you. Tao Golden, please prepare for Master Rulin. The Tao Golden Light Ball, Golden Liquid Spring of healing negative memory of the disaster. Transmission! Let's wait a few moments until it completely settles down. How? What was your experience, dear Master Rulin?
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this very deep, this golden light ball, golden liquid spring just come over, and it release so much deep blockages, and also traumas. And I even saw, because part of, I have, many memories, including the ancient memories. Even some ancient civilizations, they have a big traumas. Even those part of the memories are inside my field, because um, and there's some many, dramatic things that has, stored in my vibrational field. So I really see those So that's caused actually a lot of stress, very deep stress, which I may not even aware of it.
Oh, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
and so I have this like this deep pressure within me, you know, like I need to really function. I really need like working hard, you know, or you know, there's something like it's a deep stress and a deep um, and a deep pressure about survival, about life, and this is also so that this kind of a deep deep stress that can cause me to in the future to choose, you know, as some situation chose a place, make a wrong decision like that woman pick a right living right under a very dangerous place, yeah, and then making wrong decisions, and also affects my personal well-beings and happiness, and even my work. And you know, it's very deep, profound impact in my life. So this golden light bulb, golden experience, I can see just coming in and starting to releasing those memories, releasing those informations, so that I can really enjoy my life much more, and also in the future will not be at this like, you know, live in this stress and about danger, live in this stress. I can enjoy my life more and enjoy yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Could you turn it on and share with us the power
Okay,
as appropriate?
so should we bless everyone or just myself?
No, everyone. The yeah, temporarily for everyone.
Okay,
For short time, as appropriate.
okay. So Tao golden light ball, golden liquid spring for what? For
Healing negative memory of disaster.
wow, that's huge. For dealing with the negative memories of disaster. We love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Would you please turn on as appropriate to give everyone a blessing? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Oh, thank you. That was so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mas Peter. That was so beautiful. I can just see my body suddenly was like go deeper into peace. Finally, I can breathe deeper. Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
Master Shah. We are so blessed to have him, yeah?
yeah,
It
we're
makes
just so
all these things
blessed.
available for us. It's totally unbelievable. Yeah. Master Paul, could you do a sharing? What was your third eye image or or anything you wish to share.
Thank you, beloved Peter. That was pretty amazing, actually. When I asked to see with my third eye what was happening, what I was shown was an image where in Rulin's property in Hawaii, where it was like when you watch a video on TV where they reverse everything. You know, somebody walks upstairs backwards instead of downstairs. It was literally reversals, like, and it was doing this process of unwinding that aspect of her life. That was one aspect that I was shown. I'm sure it was doing it to other multiple aspects. And so I asked, I says, well, what is the ramification of this? What is the message that comes with this kind of a blessing? And some of the things Rulin touched on, what I heard was, first thing I heard was, this blessing is life-saving. I said, wow, that really surprised me. I said, why? And what I heard was, what Rulin already touched on, one item was, because when a person has these kind of negative messages, they can make errors, go down that wrong road again, or make choices that are based out of a internal fear or that innate knee-jerk reaction that was built upon an ancient memory. And so that was one aspect that came from it. And then as I kind of sat with the information for a while, what I also heard was, this is also a financial blessing and a relationship blessing, which I was really surprised to hear. I said, well, why? And what I heard was, it can be a financial blessing because it keeps you from making negative choices, like the lady that lost her house in 2 landslides. And it can be a relationship blessing because there are people, what I heard was, oftentimes significant life damage occurred, for not only for you, but for the belongings and for the relationships around you. People could have lost their lives. And what I heard was, there was actually a lot of blame and guilt caused upon others from making wrong choices. And that creates problems in current relationships if that individual was with them before. And so that was an interesting thing to hear as well, that it could impact both finances and relationships, in essence, clearing some of the negative information that impacts those around you as well as your finances. So that's the information I received.
Beautiful. Thank you for your sharing. That's wonderful. Thank you, Master. So this is just one of the things I will be sharing with you tomorrow. There are actually 5 key points in spiritual way how we are working, more than 5, how we are working. So to work on the transform the message is just first one. But this is introductory evening, so I will need to slowly stop. But this is what it is. You know, tomorrow, please join me, and I will share with you much more details. Both on the physical level, what we need to prepare, and what we can do on the spiritual level. You know, and I'm very eager to learn from anyone. Each of you may have some wonderful experience or knowledge, you know, because this is part of our lives. Actually, this is not fear mongering. I mean, in Hawaii they have the hurricanes every year, every September it hits. The same our friends in Florida. So I look into it. For example, in Florida, there is an amazing company, Datrex. They are making emergency food. You know, it's compressed, the food, shelf life 5 years. You buy the few boxes and forget it. It's just in the house. In a case there is a hurricane and everything is knocked down, and you open up and you eat. You have something to eat. You know what I mean? So technology is there. There's so much resources is there. You just need to put it together. And when we combine it with what I demonstrated right now, with, let's say, that's only one of the services. There are many others, quite a few others which we can do tomorrow. We can whatever is coming our way, we can deal with it much more efficiently. Yeah. So if you live in the East Coast, then you know that in Florida, you know that the hurricane will come one day. Every year they come. If you are around Mississippi, you know that there will be floods. They do come. If you live in North Dakota, then you know that there will be snowstorms every year. If you are living in the West Coast, then you know that the fires are becoming a part of our life. Global warming. So what can we do? That's what it is. And so we don't need to be scared. We don't need to be frazzled by this. Just get ready. We get ready. We share like we have shared for centuries from one of another, and we together we can make it. We can make it. I will teach you what I know. You will teach me what you know, and we will be prepared. Yeah, we will be prepared whatever is coming our way, and then we rebuild our lives very quickly afterwards, as we have always done before. And so there is such a potential in these two countries, you know, in Canada, in United States. We were flying to the moon. So what? We will make it this time also. No question. So I welcome all of you from my heart. Join me tomorrow. I will serve you my total best. And Paul, is there anything you would like to say, share with others? And the Master Rulin also, and then we slowly close the evening.
Thank you so much, beloved Peter. Let's give Master Peter our greatest hand and greatest gratitude. We're deeply humbled to have your blessings in your presence and a huge flash of light we get from Dr. Rulin's blessing. I just want to touch on tomorrow, and then Rulin, if you wanted to close, certainly. We have been excited about doing this workshop, especially with the conditions happening in the States. As I listened to Peter's presentation tonight, I'm like, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that. And my excuse is I've been moving the last year and a half. I had to divest everything. I literally had to give away my bucket of dry food before I could move to Europe and then come back. So I've been actually looking forward to resetting a bug out bag and everything that's needed to be ahead of the game. And as Peter said very clearly, it's not a matter of will these kinds of things happen. They just naturally, it's Mother Earth, calamities happen. But are you prepared? And even he indicated earlier today when I chatted with him that when the COVID thing hit, he realized I'm not prepared for masks. And he had everything. You saw his list. He had his bag, but he didn't even have masks. So, you know, you might think you're prepared, and you might have already attended one of Dr. Peter's events like this, but I promise you, you're going to get another 50% more information than you missed the first time around. So Rulin and I chatted, and we really want to give everybody a huge reason for coming, aside from Dr. Peter and all the blessings you get from being in his presence. We want to offer you a Tao calligraphy blessing, a Tao Center calligraphy blessing from one of our calligraphies. And that will be as a gift for everyone that enrolls for tomorrow's event. So the event is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the link is in the chat group. So if we're also going to send it out to everybody that's registered tonight, we'll go into Zoom and pull your emails that you registered to Zoom with. If that's a dummy email, make sure you check your dummy email address. Okay, we're going to send you the links also for registration, but it is in the chat group, so you can click on that and just register for it. It's only $60, and the just being in the field is going to enhance your journey so much. But on top of that, you'll get an extraordinary blessing from the center. So I wanted to mention that and offer our deepest gratitude again to Dr. Peter, and then I turn it over to Dr. Rulin.
Yeah, I just feel so blessed to be here with Dr. Peter. And, you know, this is to me, I'm so looking forward to this part part reason is this is so important. I always want to attend Master Peter's this workshop, but didn't really find time. So now he's in our home backyard, and also this very, this very, very this like a family setting, and spend very intimate time with Master Peter. This is Master Peter is amazing spiritual well-being, very, very advanced spiritual being. You can feel it, she just speak and you can feel this amazing love, this light. So just be with him. It is already one of the greatest blessing. And his wisdom is so amazing. In this weekend, he will share with you a lot of amazing stories about his life, and his life. Every time I listen to it, we just learn such a deep wisdom. Yeah, gone through so much, and go very, very deep in his spiritual achievements. And so I'm so looking forward to it. And also what he's talking about is so important for all of us. Physical and spiritual preparation. Spiritual, both are very, very important. And I realized in both regards, I still have a lot of work to do. I think we all have a lot more work to do. So, which is great. It's good. We have some, but he's so powerful and it help us to do this work. And so yeah, and so I'm already a little bit late for quite many years, but now finally got this chance to do this. Yeah, this blessing I got today from him. It is so, so, so powerful. Now I just feel this amazing deep peace. Like, a deep, deep peace. And then now I find I can really prepare. And also I really realized we all have memories of disasters. We all, humanity. Now it's maybe in our personal lifetime, it does not, but in our parents, our grandparents, their memory can come to us. And those memories, is still in our informational field, in our quantum field. And to release it is so important. I realized in the last few years, I was just not interested in my own financial well-being at all. I think it's partly because of this maybe negative information, some negative memory about disasters, Yeah, it's true. Like when I was very young, I was kidnapped, so I probably gone through a lot of karma, a lot of like disasters, which I don't even try to memorize it, just trying to forget about it. But this memory is still with us. And if we can release it, then we'll be more prepared to live a better life and help the world to have a better life. So I'm so grateful for this blessing, and looking forward to receive more blessings from Master Peter, and also learn the wisdoms, knowledges he's going to share with us. So I highly recommend everyone to join us tomorrow with Master Peter, spend an amazing day together. And I'm
Quick
sure
question
by
for
the
Master
end of the
Peter.
day, everybody feels so calm, so peaceful, so prepared. Mm-hmm.
Quick question for Master Peter, if you don't mind. Somebody's asking Dr. Peter if they would have the opportunity to receive any blessings offered for up to 2 weeks later.
I will leave it to host center, depending on your policy, what you have. If you are doing this, then I am very happy to respond to it, yes. If you don't do that, then we will not do it. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, I believe we're perfectly okay with that. We just wanted to make sure it was okay with you.
No, it's okay with me, of course. You let me know and then I will deliver. The PDF of resources. No, what you will receive is I will give you a website where you can go. I can tell you right now. The one website is United States federal government. There is I'll post tomorrow the links. It's a disaster preparation, the federal government website, and they have different sections for different kind of disasters, like how to prepare for the flood, how to prepare for earthquake, and so forth. So There are many very beautiful informations. Second one is US Red Cross. US Red Cross has a very comprehensive website, because they are doing all sorts of different things. But there is a part preparing for the disaster. And there is an amazing list of equipment you can actually order from them. Many items I will be teaching tomorrow, you can order directly from the Red Cross, and very reasonable price. So that I will share with you, and just go there. There is everything. I don't need to give you PDF because everything is online already and done by top experts. I'm just helping students. I'm not top experts. Yeah, but that we do it together. I will again learn some things from you. So I don't need to share with you because it's all there out. Okay. Okay, so we close now. I love you all. I look forward to see you tomorrow, and join me. We'll have lots of good time. It's a heavy topic, but still we can have a good time. Love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Love you,
Master
Dr.
Peter.
Peter.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Looking forward to be with you tomorrow with every one of you here. Love you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Love you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Look for that email. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you very much. Very beautiful presentation.
Thank you, Bettina.
Love you, Josie.
Thank
Love
you.
Noelia.
Thank you.
Love you,
Love you,
Gloria.
Gloria.
Tomorrow.
Hi, Josie. Hi, Noelia. Hi, Ginger. I can't tell who the fourth person is.
Bye-bye.
Ginger.
Good to see you here, Lisa. Thank you, Maya Posey.
I think it's Denise and Michaela.
Oh, okay.
Oh. So.
Yeah, today there's no class with me. Tomorrow, Master Peter's workshop. Welcome to here. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Love you all. Bye.